welcome back to The Verdict here on Channels Television. Yes, indeed, we're keeping you company all through, and we'll continue to do that until pretty much later in the day. Right. I'm the late entrant into this.
Yes, we were just about to welcome him to The Verdict. Yeah, so welcome.
We were away, other assignments, but it's nice to be here.
That's right, isn't it?
Welcome back. It's been very active. Laddie was busy, actually very busy, and you'll get to find out why he wasn't here when we opened this session. But welcome back. We're looking at the elections preparations for the governorship and state assembly elections that's happening tomorrow. We're looking at logistics, what INEC is doing, what's the security plan, vis-a-vis what happened
a few weeks ago.
A few
we're
days
also
ago.
looking at voter education again, because we did see a lot of people, manipulating the ballot paper in a way they shouldn't. And just the appeal again for people to turn out. So we're looking at voter turnout as well.
Yes, indeed. In the last election, we had a voter turnout of about 35.66%. That's the total voter turnout in the last elections, February 9. We're hoping that...
February 23rd?
February 23rd.
Yes,
Apologies,
Understandable.
Okay, February 23rd. So we're hoping that, you're a voter, you have your permanent voter's card. You should go out there and exercise your franchise. As one of the guests said today, this is closer home. The election is like at your doorstep. You need to step out and do something, exercise your franchise, so that tomorrow you can have a reason to say, I voted Ijoma in.
Exactly. Yeah, well, so not yet.
You didn't wait until he completed it.
Not yet, before we get the wrong idea. And then also, to engage is something that we'd like you to do, and NC will tell you all the ways you can do that. Just important for you to remember that whatever is going on in your state, not just where you reside, but your state, it's good if you tell us as well.
Yes, indeed. Be a citizens journalist. Tell us what is happening around you. We have multiple platforms. You can use the social media platforms, or you can use our Eyewitness platform via the Channels TV app. In other words, carry us wherever you are. But let us know what's happening. If you're using the social media platforms, the hashtag is The Verdict, and then hashtag 2019 elections. That's Twitter is at Channels TV, and Instagram is Channels Television. Let us know what's happening around you. Pictures, text messages via Twitter or Instagram.
And
let us know.
Videos as
and
well.
Short videos you can send on Instagram or Facebook with the hashtag again, The Verdict and 2019 elections. But if you want to go beyond all of that, send us pictures of how you're preparing for the elections, how you're watching Channels Television, keeping tabs with us on the elections and all that's happening here. Send us pictures, send us short clips from wherever around the world where you are. We have correspondents spread across the country and beyond. As we would always say, news is our business, and we'd like to keep you informed and help you to see what's happening all around. And talking about letting you know what's happening around the country, we'll take you to Benue State, where our correspondent Pius Angbo is standing by to let us know what's happening. Hello, Pius.
Hello, good evening.
What is happening where you are?
Hello, good evening. I am here at the INEC headquarters in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, to talk with the resident electoral commissioner with regards to preparations for tomorrow's polls. In Benue here, you have over 7 million people resident here, but about 2.4 million of that number registered for the 2019 general elections, and about 2.1 million of those numbers also collected their PVCs. But in the last presidential elections, about 36.2% of those who collected their PVCs voted in the election. And we want to find out from the rep what has been done to increase voter turnout tomorrow. Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, you remember the last elections, we were looking at possible high turnout in Benue State. What exactly are you doing with regards to that for tomorrow elections?
Tomorrow we are going to have 481 people participate as contestants. About 33 of them for gubernatorial election, and then 448 of them as House of Assembly contestants. That gives us an average of a density of about 2 people per council ward. So by implication, we're going to have more voter turnout because it's close to the people, and also going by what happened last week, people seeing that their votes counted such a way that different political parties will win the election across the state. It gives more confidence for people. If you check social media, you check radio, you check programs that are going on, there's more intensity in this very election, and I expect more people to turn out for the election.
Okay, one of the issues that came up this week before the elections was that a group of protesters were in Abuja asking for increased security in Benue to guard against intimidation of opposition by the government in the state. Midway in the week, protesters, CSO particularly, says that they do not need more security in Benue state. From your assessment as an umpire, do you think you have too much security or inadequate security to handle elections tomorrow?
I think the arrangement we have now is perfect. The security arrangement architecture is perfect, and I'm hopeful that we'll not have any problem at all.
Okay, what time can you guarantee polls will open tomorrow? Because some places like Otukpo, for instance, they complained they didn't get voting material till like 2 p.m. on the last 2 weeks.
By now, as I'm talking to you, all the materials are already in the racks. If you move on the rack centers, I was in some of the racks. As early as 8 o'clock, movement to the racks commenced, and I think by this time, across the entire state, all the racks are already activated, and people, both material and humans, the resources are already there, prepared for tomorrow. We're hopeful that by 8 o'clock tomorrow, we should be up and doing.
Okay, thank you very much.
No, thank you so much.
All right, you've heard the assurances from the resident electoral commissioner with regards to preparations for conduct of the elections tomorrow. We will be going around the town tomorrow to see how well the security provisions have been made to cater for safety of people in the state. I understand from the military sources that they will be guarding all the porous borders between the state and other neighboring states to guard against unwarranted or any attacks on voters. And I think that the last election was a bit peaceful in Benue State. If voters would keep to that template, we would have peaceful conduct of the poll here tomorrow. From Makurdi, the Benue State capital.
I know you've already signed out here, Pius. I was going to ask you to tell us from the people you had spoken to real quick how they feel. I know you just spoke to the INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner, but the people in town, what was their mood like between the last election and how are they preparing for this one? What was the sense of their preparation like?
Like I said earlier, out of 2.1 million registered voters who collected their PVCs, only 36.2%, about 800 thereabout, came out to vote in the last election. But because it's a state elections where you're expecting people to elect a new governor and 30 new House of Assembly members, there's high stake, there's high interest among the people who said this time around they'll be actively involved in choosing their leaders from the assemblies to the governorship elections. And I think that that would be a key reason why the votes will be high tomorrow. I think so.
Okay. You said that, Pius, as well, but can you just tell us whether you see people feeling depressed? Because for some states we hear that nothing much is really happening and it's not even as though there's an election tomorrow. But from the mood that you see there, yes, you've talked about turnout, but do people look excited?
Yes, when I was driving into town earlier, one of the rack centers in North Bank, one of the major racks in the state capital, was very busy with distribution of sensitive materials from there to the various wards within the state capital, and the same with other 22 local governments across the state. Indeed, there has been more activities compared to what we did last 2 weeks with regards to distribution of materials on time, and that's why you heard the rec said by 8 o'clock tomorrow he's hoping to open up to 90% of his polling units across the state so that people can vote on time and not have the incident of maybe people coming on queue and not being able to vote because of late arrival of materials.
Pius, during the last election, you reported, and in fact, you spoke to the governor, you spoke to Senator Akume and a number of other stakeholders in the state when there was this back and forth about violence. What assurances, I know you've just spoken to the REC who has told you that, you know, the security arrangement this time is quote and unquote perfect, but what assurances are there on the ground that that indeed is the case?
Well, before the elections, were this apprehensive about peaceful conduct of the polls in Benue State. But like you said, we went through 4 local governments that day. We did not witness one incident of raging, violence, and all of that. It was all along peaceful. All those we interviewed said elections were peaceful. But until results began to come in, stakeholders who were losing began to also react and said that they had probably been rigged in various polling units and local government. As it stands, if the military stands by the police to strengthen what they did 2 weeks ago, I think that it will pretty much be peaceful, because last 2 weeks, we didn't have any incident of major violence, like you say. So we expect everybody to go into these polls and behave like they did last 2 weeks, because even the APC governorship candidates here in the state attested to the fact that people went to the polls last 2 weeks and casted their ballot in peace, and they should repeat same this election in the state. And so we expect that everybody, for the sake of winning peacefully, would conduct themselves and their supporters.
I didn't quite get what you said about the arrival of sensitive and non-sensitive materials, because we've been talking about that today. We heard from Edo, Anambra, Kogi, and Zamfara. In Benue there, what's it like? Are there complaints that things are not coming in as they should?
And no, like I said earlier, the rack centers have been pretty busy since morning in moving these sensitive materials to the ward level. And it's from that ward level, first thing tomorrow morning, by 6 a.m., they begin to move to the polling units in the various 5,000 polling units across the state. So I expect that with what has happened today, this afternoon, in the timely distribution of the sensitive materials from the rack centers, there shouldn't be any reason why polls should not open as early as 8 o'clock, because a lot has been done. They've improved on the delays they had last 2 weeks. The ad hoc staff have been up and doing, and a lot of people have moved. You saw a lot of vehicles ready to move to the various ward centers from the local government across the state. So we are pretty going to be sure that materials will arrive, except for human error. I don't think that anything has been left to chance in these preparations.
Perhaps just one last question before we let you go. Okay, so in some of the states, we have like 29 or 26 candidates vying for the CEO's job. 35, for instance, in Kwara are vying for the #1 seat, the seat of the governor, and 320 are vying for 24 seats in the state assembly. Benue State has 30 seats in the state assembly. How many contestants do you think are contesting there, and how many are contesting for the position of the governor?
Before the campaigns fully swung into action, you had 32 governorship candidates who had successfully been screened and cleared for the elections for governorship in Benue State. But on Wednesday, 8 of those candidates stepped down their candidature and threw their weight behind the Benue State governor, Mr. Samuel Otom, for his re-election bid. Now that dropped the number to at about 24 of them who are still in the race, as I understand, for the governorship elections in the state. That includes the PRP, the APC, the PDP, and the rest of other parties. But also you have 30 lawmakers to be elected from the state assemblies across the 23 local governments in the state. And pretty much people are willing to really go to the polls this time to do the needful like they did in 2015, because I think the stake is higher this time around.
Thank you very much, Correspondent Pius Angbo in Benue State. We will get back to you. Play safe, and we'll reach out to you to let us know what's happening around the state. Okay, guys.
Did you say play safe?
wait, hold on. Okay, be safe.
Be safe.
Be safe, whatever, be safe. And just keep at it. As we said, we want to keep you abreast of what's happening around the country. Our correspondents are all over the country, from one state to the other where elections are happening. And we'll let you know what's happening, because news is our business. Watch us on the go on youtube.com/Channels Television. You can watch us, or download the Channels TV app and carry us with you wherever you go.
Well, Ladi, you've been around, today. You've been all over the place. Tell us what's your experience been like, seeing as we're so close to tomorrow.
Well, I've been through quite a number of airports. So at the airports, there's some level of traffic. People are leaving, I guess, to go vote. Although some also indicated that they were going on holiday. I didn't quite get what that meant. But on the whole, I think because this election is closer to the people, I mean, you're talking about governors and state House of Assembly members, there's more, as Pius pointed out, there's more at stake here. The people elected in this particular election will have greater impact on the people in their individual states. So there's bound to be more interest in this. The presidency or presidential elections and National Assembly elections are over there in Abuja. But this is at home. I mean, the governor is known virtually to everybody in his state. The House of Assembly members make laws for the people of that state, and those laws have direct impact. So in that kind of situation, as was said, there should be a lot more interest. Tomorrow, if the polling booths open on time, more of them open on time, and the materials are there, and we don't see some of the incidents that we saw two weeks or so ago, then, of course, there's bound to be more excitement. The first people to go out will be the ones who will serve as the harbingers for those who wait a little.
I was going to say it's a big if, because even this morning when we were listening to the INEC National Electoral Commissioner, he was saying the full complement of materials have not reached some places. That was us at that time, that they had opened the pack and said, oh, we forgot something, you know. So we don't know how that will play out and whether, you know, at this time they now have everything that they need.
Maybe that will change if what the Benue State Rec said is anything to go by. He's saying that as at 8 a.m. tomorrow, he's hoping to open 90% of the polling units.
That's Benue.
That's Benue.
Even in Benue, that will mark a very serious improvement on what happened 2 weeks ago. Yeah. If indeed we could get 90%. As Ijoma is pointing out, 90% as in Benue. If you get 90% across the country, that would be fantastic for want of
good news.
Okay, looking at just the FCT now, they have 62 councillors. Those are the number of seats, 6 chairmen as well. That's quite a number on that ballot, Ladi.
Indeed, indeed. Again, these are some of the things that have emanated from the large number of people who are interested and the large number of parties that are serving as platforms. Hitherto, the FCT area councils kind of passed under the radar before now, but now it's as competitive as any other election. And in fact, someone I spoke to yesterday did point out that these elections, in his view, would be a lot more even complicated.
I was just going to ask you about that as well.
Of 2 weeks ago.
See, you have 14 states, supplementary elections, and you have FCT area council, state house of assembly, governorship. That's a lot to do.
All on one particular day. Yeah, in one day. And
so what's going to happen when you have maybe 16, 17 polling units trying to be done in one place, in the same place? You're voting for governor.
Governor, at the same time you're voting for state house.
Logistically.
That's why again it's gonna play to how it starts. If those people, if those who go out first come back and report that, look, the process is fairly smooth, we were able to do, you know, our accreditation, the card readers worked better this time, and we found the voting process easier, you may then find that a lot of others who hung back would then come forward. But if the report is otherwise, then you may then find out, well, okay, yeah, that's more or less what happened, or what we were expecting, okay, so, but that's it.
Indeed. So, talking about,
Carry on, Nancy, please.
Again, let's just dash to
somewhere in
Rivers State.
Dobra is standing by. Dobra Timiwood, I believe. Dobra, can you hear us? And if you can, tell us what the preparations are where you are now, Dobra.
Hi, Joma. I can hear you clearly. I'm in Rivers State. I'm actually at the INEC office in Rivers State. Right about now, we have ad hoc staff of INEC checking that list behind me to ensure that their names come out. Now, these people will serve as collation officers for the elections tomorrow. So the INEC office in Rivers State has been a beehive of activities since morning. Now, I went to the streets of Rivers State to feel the pulse of the people regarding the elections tomorrow. Now, you know, in Rivers State, because of the news that have been preceding these particular elections, there's this thought of the election may be violent or has the, you know, percentage of high violence. But surprisingly, when I spoke with Rivers people, they said they are ready to own this election. They would come out tomorrow and vote. Now, I also spoke with them regarding the military presence, high military presence in Rivers State. Will that deter them from coming out, or does it make them feel more secured to actually participate in the electoral process? Some people say it will deter them a bit. But majority of the people I spoke with said this is their election. This is their once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to come out and choose the leader they want, so they will come out and vote. Earlier on, I also spoke with the resident electoral commissioner of INEC Rivers State, and he has advised Rivers people to come out and vote. For him, he said it's saddening that whenever elections regarding Rivers State is being on the news, it's always stories of violence, you know, of destruction, and that is not good. So he has said the election, the electoral process does not belong to politicians. People should understand that it is the masses, everyday people, me and you, that own this electoral process. So they should come out, because when you don't come out because of you're scared something will happen, then how do you elect the leader of your choice? So he has advised Rivers people to come out tomorrow and ensure that they vote. Regarding dispatch of materials, he has said sensitive and non-sensitive materials have all been set, that INEC Rivers State is 100% ready for the elections tomorrow.
Dobra, you pretty much told us quite a bit, but you know, whenever we talk about Rivers, or you're listing the states to watch, Rivers seems to be on that list. Is there anything that you're hearing in terms of extra security, even if it's for those who are within that cordoned area doing the voting? What are you hearing about the security plan, seeing as just a couple of weeks ago we heard the news that you were talking about?
Again. Can you take that again?
I was talking about security. Any extra security in Rivers?
Yes, security is a big issue regarding this election. Security in Rivers State is a big issue. Now, you're aware that there's high level of military presence in Rivers State at the moment. Now, for most people, the military presence, I believe the military intends that this should reassure the people that they can come out and vote. But we know that there are people that, because of this military presence, it would make them stay at home. So it works both ways. I've spoken with people, like I told you earlier on, that does the presence of military in Rivers State reassure them that the election will be peaceful? Some believe that the presence of military would make the place peaceful, as everywhere will be cordoned off. People would actually vote. It will reduce the level of ballot box snatching and all that. But others also believe that this military presence might increase the violence. But we would never know until tomorrow when the electoral process really plays out. But from what I'm seeing, presence in Rivers State on the street, people are eager to vote. They want to own this process. They want to elect the leader of their choice.
Thanks a lot, Dobra, all the way there in Rivers State, giving us an update of just what to expect tomorrow in terms of logistics, in terms of security as well. And as Nyota would say, please stay safe as you bring us all that you do. Now, let's take a quick break and we'll be back and to talk a little bit more. Remember that the Verdict Studios is still open and we'll be back after this short break.